Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Really? You can see that it's casual Sunday with Laura. Like really, I can't lie with that kind of outfit. Casual Sunday. Okay, everything is alright. Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch My Hero Academia Season 3 episode 7 and 8 today. Yes! Today I'm gonna watch these two episodes. You're gonna have these episodes, I mean my reactions and my thoughts about these two episodes in two different videos. Remember that if you're watching this on YouTube, you can have already my reactions and my thoughts about the 4 next episodes. Can be interesting for you, and we've extended and 4 action parts. Like for this attack, for all of the episodes you know about this attack, I put, I think, so far only 4 action parts because each time so many things were happening, so I couldn't cut into it and I wanted to share everything with you guys. So yes, you had a lot of 4 action parts for My Hero Academia, and right there for the last episodes you had 4 action parts. And this attack, it's not the end of it, you know, like with how ended the last episode. I mean, we managed to fight against some of the villains and to win against them, to stop them, but at the same time the other ones, they wanted to get out, you know, to just be like, okay, that's it, we did what we had to do, let's move on. Meaning that Toga, the kawaii villain, she managed to have Ochako's blood. To do what with it, I still don't understand. I don't understand her quirk, and I don't understand what she can do with this blood. I have the impression that maybe, like my theory for now, it's the fact that if she's working for one for all, maybe it's to help him, you know, to create a new Nomu or something like that. But at the same time, the Magic Vilain, he just kidnapped, in fact, Tokoyami and Bakugo when he took them, when he compressed them like that, he kidnapped them. Okay, our guys, they're gonna try to fight to have them back, but right there it's to kidnap them. And with what he said about the fact that, in fact, Bakugo never had the choice of a real path, like, do you want to change his mind, to brainwash him, to make him understand that he can join you? No, I don't want that, and I think that Bakugo is not going to be interested by that, in fact. You know, at some point during the season 1, I was a little afraid of his attitude, Bakugo's attitude, because I thought that maybe he could become like Endover, or, you know, he could go on the wrong path, but I never thought that he could become a villain. I always thought that he could become someone awful, but not a villain. He wants too much to be an hero for that, and since so long, I mean, if for Deku, you know, seeing All Might being like that, it really pushed him to want to be an hero because he wanted to help people. Bakugo, he wanted to be an hero because he saw All Might and because he wanted to be the best. And clearly, I don't think that he would want to join the villains, that their ideas could please him or anything like that. But still, I don't want him to be kidnapped, and I don't want them to test him with that. So I'm a little afraid of it. But again, I'm wondering if it's not for that, you know, if it's not for convincing them to join the League of Villains, why kidnapping them? And you know, all of these villains, these 10 villains who came right there during this attack, I have the impression that they had different purposes. Like, muscular guy in front of Bakugo, it would have been to kill him, to kill Bakugo. So in fact it was what? Kill, take the blood, or kidnap them? Like, you have the choice according to what you want, you can do whatever you want. You can kill, you can kidnap them. It's a little weird, like, I'm confused about really what was the purpose behind this attack. I'm confused by it. I hope that Maybe not during this episode, which is gonna be about a new fight against the magic guy, Toga, Dabi. Which one? Another one was right there. Twice was right there also to be against our guys coming to help Bakugo and Tokoyami. So 4 against our guys. I think that this episode is gonna be about this moment, this fight, taking back Tokoyami and Bakugo. I hope that we're gonna succeed. And maybe the next episode is gonna be about the consequences of this fight, meaning what are they gonna do with what they managed to take, including for sure Ochako's blood. During the last fights that we had, I was feeling really proud of Deku and how he managed to fight against the muscular villain, you know, that was so impressive. I was so proud of him. I loved, you know, Kota's reaction and the fact that he recognized Deku as his hero. That was so cool. And I felt also really sad for Tokoyami for the fact that he didn't manage to control Dark Shadow. He lost control of that part of himself and he was afraid of hurting his friends and, you know, so many things around that, and he talked about his dark side, his anger. I hope that we're gonna have more about it also, you know, when I was talking about the consequences of all of this attack, I was also thinking about that, also the consequences for the characters, what it meant for them to be really in front of all of these big villains, like the elite of these villains, and also what it meant for them, like did they discover stuff about themselves, like it was the case maybe for Tokoyami. We'll see about it, but yes, I felt sad for Tokoyami, really. So let's go for this episode. That's gonna be something big. I think it can only be big because right now we're gonna have Toga twice, Dabi and the magic guy against some of our students, but these ones, some of them are already hurt, like Deku was really badly hurt. We had also, I can't remember his name. Zero, it's not him, it's the guy with the tape, Zero. I can't remember his name, but he lost one of his hands, so that's bad also, like... And they are students, you know? I think that we have 4 of them right there. We have also Tokoyami and Todoroki, I think. But you know, it's 4 of them against 4 big villains, it's not enough. We need Aizawa to come, we need other things to happen right there to help. That's gonna be big. I think that this episode is gonna be rough to watch. We'll see. Like I said, if you want, on my Patreon, we have 4 episodes of advance. They have extended at 4 reaction part. Extended reaction parts are already interesting because I'm not forced to cut that much to play with opacity and stuff. And the 4 reaction part is the 4 reaction part, and for this attack, I put only 4 reaction parts. If you can be interested by that, if you want to support me, to encourage me to continue this channel and all, it can be truly appreciated. I'm not considered a author by YouTube and it's really rough since months now, so if you want and if you can join me on my Patreon. Let's go for this episode! I'm counting, you know, the number of villains. That really you or one of the copies? It's one of the copies. You want for people to lose face. It's clever for what they want to say, you know. Ah, I know. He was second, you know, at the festival. And also he's on the last song. When you love, you cut? That's your thing? You want blood from people that you love? Where are Bakugo and Tokoyami? You lost me? Well done, Shoji! How can you take them out now? No. And you! Bye-bye, bye-bye. I prefer for you to leave. You didn't kidnap anyone and you just have Ochako's blood. It was diversion! You're really gonna kidnap them? Fake French guy just saved the day? Yes, it's kind of a surprise for me, a big one. No, we can't lose any of them. We saved Tokoyami, but Bakugo! This time it was to save you that he told you to not come. You know, before that it was, I can do it on my own. This time it was for you to be safe. They really kidnapped Bakugo? Oh, what Magic Guy said, you know, about making him switch, you know, convincing him that there is another path. You just lost Bakugo. No. He's not gonna be convinced. No, Bakugo, he wants to be an hero. You're not gonna convince him with your ideas. No. 50? That was such a serious attack. So many of you badly injured and Bakugo kidnapped and... What? I want to see him! The fact that you couldn't protect these students as pro-heroes, you know? To destroy trust, the trust that people are putting on heroes. You couldn't know! You know, all of the tense situations, maybe they managed to convince people with ideas. This attack, with the other one, they are convincing people that they are not safe, that heroes are not perfect, they can lose and read bad. They're not gonna have him. I was worried of him being a little like Andover at the end, but I never thought that he could become a villain. Never. Oh, you're gonna suspect each other? I don't suspect any of you. And they want you to lose faith on yourself, like to have doubts.
という情報を入手していた。またビルの所有者に確認したところ、いわゆる隠れ家的なバーがちゃんと入っているという話だったので。
Okay, okay, it can be the right place.
裏が取り次第すぐに解除。これは極秘情報。君だから話している。
Cool.
今回の救出相当。
So the rat is not gonna know. Don't tell to the other teachers what you just learned.
オールマイト。
Alright.
こう言ってやるぞ。私が反撃に来たってね。
I'm not clapping with my hands, I'm clapping with my fists ready to fight.
私の子供がヒーロー志望でも遊泳に入れようだなんて。俺らのことを盛大に宣伝してくれて本当ありがたいよ。そう思わないか？
No.
バクゴカツキ君。
He's not gonna say anything. You're not gonna have him.
2日間、気絶と悶絶を繰り返し、高熱にうなされた。
Oh, your poor mom!
警察が訪ねてきた。
Oh, your poor mom!
何一つ
She has to be so worried.
お母さんのうち。
What did I just say? Your poor mom, I knew! Hey, okay.
迷惑かけたな。僕の方こそ。みんなで来てくれたの。ジロー君、ハガクレ君はヴィランのガスによって今。
They're still unconscious 2 days after that?
頭をひどくやられ、ここに入院している。
Momo.
昨日ちょうど意識が戻ったそうだ。
Momo, what you put on that, Nomo? Really, before it was, I can save myself. But there it's,
届かない場所には助けに行け
I want you to stay, okay?
僕は手の届く場所にいた。必ず助けなきゃいけなかった。動かなかった。コウタ君を助けるのに精一杯。目の前にいる人は僕だ。
Come on.
今度は助けよう。
How?
実は俺と轟さ、昨日も来てたよ。オールマイトと警察が八百万と話してるところに遭遇したんだ。
Momo, what she put on the Nomo?
ヴィランの一人に発信機を取り付けました。
I knew it would be that.
受信するデバイスです。操作にお伝えください。
Can she create another one?
旧友の危機。こんな形でしか協力できず。
It's already great! The fact that you had that idea and all.
あとは私たちに任せなさい。つまり、その受信デバイスを八百万君に作ってもらうと。まあ、どのみち監督不行き届きで俺らは責任取らないとだしな。
You're not gonna respect the rules if you're doing that.
オールマイトのおっしゃる通りだ。プロに任せるべき案件だ。あんなもん分かってるよ。
You're right, but
持っていなかったんだ。
for sure they want to intervene.
ここで動けなきゃ俺らヒーローでも男でもなくなっちまうんだよ。
Oh, I love you so much, Kirishima. You can make me cry.
イダちゃんが正しいわ。
そんなことは分かってんだよ。波乗りや。まだ手は届くんだよ。助けに行けるんだよ。
Oh, you're tempting Deku with that? Okay, no hide and seek. Oh, I'm confused. I expected, you know, this fight between them to really happen between these 4 villains and all 3 students. At first I thought that we had also someone else involved, but no, it was only these 3 against these 4 villains. I thought that we would have a real fight which would take the entire episode, and in fact not at all. We didn't have a real fight, in fact, you know, they exchanged little things like Todoroki made some eyes and all, but that was all. It took half of the episode, something like that, not even that. The fact that it was a trap, you know, a trick, the fact that this magic guy, he had Bakugo and Tokoyami inside of his mouth, in fact, really, it surprised me, it got me, so I was like, that's it, he's gonna win, he's gonna have them too, that's awful. So I was so surprised, for sure, that someone intervened And in fact, no, we managed to have one of them back with us, you know, someone intervened to stop that situation. That was already a surprise for me. The fact that it was a fake French guy with his leather, for sure, that was a big surprise for me. Even more because the last time that we saw him, he was so afraid, he couldn't even move. So I totally forgot that he was around and that he could do something, like I totally forgot about him. So that was a surprise that someone intervened, and the fact that it was him, it was a shock, like clearly. Thanks to him we managed to have Tokoyami, but Bakugo was taken away, Bakugo was kidnapped. He's right there at this bar, you know, and that's awful. Like, what do they want to do with him? I'm afraid of them trying to make him switch, and for what Magic Vilain, you know, he said it's a little what they want to do. He said something about the fact that Bakugo, he had only the choice of one path, you know, like it was not really a choice, that maybe if they are offering him something else, he's gonna accept. And during, you know, that council with all of the teachers, they talked about it. They talked about the fact that Bakugo, he showed to everyone during the sports festival that he could get mad, that he was someone who was playing against the rules, against the system, that, you know, he had that rebel part inside of him, so maybe they can manage to convince him. I really don't think so. Like, you know that during the season 1, his attitude, you know, Bakugo's attitude, at some point was a little mad at him, and at some point I was also afraid for him to become maybe a little like Andover, to be against Deku like Andover is against All Might, to go on that bad path, meaning, you know, to always be against Deku, to always choose to only think about himself, you know, stuff like that. But I swear that I never thought that he could truly become a villain. Maybe at some point I had that idea in mind, but I never truly believed into it, like, no, it can't be possible. And since we discovered his reason, you know, to want to be a hero, the fact that it's because of All Might, seeing All Might acting, he wanted to be like him because he wanted to be the best and all. I really don't think that they're gonna manage to convince him to become a villain, to join them. Not because of these ideas, not because of... I mean, they're not gonna convince him with their ideas, Stain ideas, or the master ideas, you know, one for all ideas. They're not gonna convince him with, you know, the thing about being against the system in place, being against the rules and all, because All Might is playing according to the rules and is representing all of these rules and all, so I don't think so. No, I don't think that they can convince him. But I'm afraid of them maybe taking some of his blood or using him to make him a Nomu. I still don't understand how it's functioning to create a Nomu. Do you need blood? Do you need more than that from someone, you know? So that's why, you know, Ochako's blood, I think that maybe it's to create a Nomu, and right there with Bakugo, I have that fear of maybe them taking some of his blood to create a Nomu also. But no, you're not gonna manage to convince him. This attack, you know, like the second half of this episode, it was to talk about the consequences of this attack, and in fact, it's such a big one when you think about the attack that we had at the end of the season 1. It was nothing in comparison. Like, okay, we had some people who were injured, but it was, I think, only the 2 teachers, Aizawa and 13, and no one else. And you know, it was that amount of villains, but that were not really useful, you know, there were little villains, when right there it was the elite of villains, and because of that, how many they said? For sure, we have Bakugo who was kidnapped, we had like 15 of them who were badly injured, a lot who were unconscious, like so many bad things. It's so bad. And I truly understand the fact that it's also great for the villains, and they made it on purpose to act like that and all. This attack, it was on purpose, you know, to have some of their blood, to kidnap some of the students, to maybe kill some of them and all. I understand that, but it was also to show to people that these students, they are not safe, that heroes, they can't protect them, they can't protect anyone, that they can lose in fact really easily, you know, only against 10 villains, that really they are nothing, that things are bad, like, you know what that guy said on television after that, like, I'm not gonna send my boy, you know, to one of these schools, that's it, it's already really bad. It's really for people to lose faith in All Might, in all of this system of heroes. Like if before with Stain they managed to convince people with ideas, like right there it's really with facts that they are convincing them. See, heroes, they are not enough, your kids are not safe. And you know, to say to a community your kids are not safe into that system, it's really a good way to convince a lot of people. So for the villains, it's really well played in fact. Kirishima, you know that I love him a lot. I think that it began at the beginning of the season 2, something like that I began to really love him. You know, his attitude, the fact that he's always supportive, positive, that, you know, he's like that. Truly, I appreciated that about him. Since the movie, I love a lot the relationship with Bakugo, the fact that they are so close, you know, they are truly best friends. So right there, for Kirishima to be so mad at the fact that he couldn't intervene to save Bakugo, it makes sense, you know. And right there, that speech about the fact that they're gonna go to fight, you know, they had that conversation between Momo and the other ones. It makes sense for him to react like that. He's gonna tempt Deku with that, but what Ida said, it's also right, the fact that it's against the rules, the fact that pro-heroes, they are the best, you know, to do something like that they have to trust them. For sure, guys, they want to help to intervene, but if the police, you know, and All Might, the pro-heroes, they have that information, that device, you know, that Momo did, like, it means that you're gonna have a lot of heroes right there at the same place, a lot of the police at the same place. If students are intervening, you know, before that, it can compromise, in fact, the rate that maybe these pro-heroes and the police, they would do, and it would be really bad. If they're gonna intervene during this raid, they're gonna put themselves in danger and maybe they're gonna be kidnapped again or something like that. Like, it can be bad. In fact, I totally understand why they want to intervene, and I would want to see that for sure, but I can see that it's really a bad idea. Tokoyami felt so sorry. And yes, the police, they have the information about the bar, they have that device, you know, to have a localization for them, at least for the Nomu. So maybe not at the bar. I don't think that the Nomu is at the bar. I think that he is at One for All lab. So in fact, the police, they have a lot of information, and right there, All Might, he wants to help the police, I think, with other heroes. That can be great. During the concert, you know, with all of the teachers, they also talked about the fact that we have a rat inside, and that's true. You know, with the situation with the training camp, the fact that people knew about it, where it was and all. I don't know who it can be, I don't want to imagine that. You know, I'm thinking about all of the teachers that we met during the sports festival, all of the exams and all. You know, I'm thinking about Cemento, I'm thinking really about all of them. I don't want to imagine that any of them is a rat, you know, is playing for the League of Villains. That's so bad to imagine it. Maybe no one is playing for the League of Villains, and just right there inside you have devices, you know, you have wires to listen to what you're saying. That's the optimist theory. That's my optimist theory, okay? Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna film right now the next episode. To be totally honest with you, during this episode, like, I'm living near to an airport, and during this episode I was interrupted, I think, 6 or 7 times by a plane making a lot of noise. By 7 planes making a lot of noise. So I had to cut each time, and I was interrupted each time. Like, I don't know if I can film a new video or not, if I'm gonna be interrupted again or not. Like, it's really things that I can't plan, and it's just annoying, and I don't want to be annoyed again during the next video. You, with the editing, you know, you're not gonna see that, but for me it's really annoying to be interrupted that much. I think that I'm gonna try it no matter what. But I wanted, you know, to give you that behind the scene fact about this video. You didn't see it during the editing, but I was interrupted a lot! I'm pretty sure that I did my job great with the editing and you didn't see it. But now you know. If you stayed during this review, you know. Tell me on the comments if you stayed during this intro and now you know the real truth about this video. Okay, no matter what, I'm gonna stop right there this video, so it's all for you for today and it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Great.